What's up guys, this is Ellie and welcome back to a Let's Play of Eagle Eye Mysteries. Right, let's choose a mystery. We are close to wrapping up book 1. We have we have 3 more cases. Today's case is the case of the baffling bones. Without further ado, let's begin and get a little backstory on the case. Jennifer and Ellie, did you hear? Mark Moriarty found some bones near his fort. Dr. Knox thinks it may be a major discovery. I'm kind of weirded out how she just acknowledges the person on the right and never acknowledges Jake. Or if Jake is the main supporting helper, then she never acknowledges Jennifer. Sounds to me like another of Mark's tricks. Let's go check it out, Ellie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locations all spread out through the map. Let's go to Mark and see what trouble he's up to this time. All the kids think Mark is cool now that he's found a skeleton. Let's hear what he has to say about these baffling bones. Hey guys, come to see the bones I found? The police and Dr. Knox roped off the area. It's a really major archaeological discovery. This makes my fort the most awesome clubhouse in town. I guess I still might let you join my club, though. I saw the bones this morning through my periscope. I'm always using it, checking for spies creeping up on me. The rain last night must have washed the dirt away and exposed the bones. I didn't see them there yesterday. I left the fort yesterday just before dark. I called the police and they brought in Dr. Knox, the dentist. He's an amateur archaeologist. He says the bones might be really old. I bet they named this site the Moriarty Discovery. You can see the bones half buried in the ground a few feet from the fort. They look very clean and white. There are no footprints nearby. Okay, so interesting. Mark seems to believe he has actually found something. Let's see what Mr. Arnold thinks about his neighbor. Mr. Arnold's house is right next to the vacant lot. In fact, from here it looks like some plants in his garden are actually growing in the open space next door. Maybe he saw something. Hey kids, stay away from my bean plants. The county fair is in 2 weeks and I expect those beans to win first place. What are you coming around here for anyway? You friends of that Mark Moriarty? Mr. Arnold, we are from the Eagle Eye Detective Agency. We are investigating the old bones that they found over in the vacant lot. Do you know anything about them? Bones, eh? I wondered what all the hubbub was about. No, I haven't seen anything but that Mark Moriarty skulking around. He was around almost until dark yesterday. I hope that they don't make a mess when they come to investigate the Ice Age skeleton. I like peace and quiet when I'm working in my garden. The garden is neat and trim and the plants all look healthy. Mr. Arnold's prize-winning bean plants are in the far part of the garden. It seems that in order to get more room to grow his vegetables, Mr. Arnold has expanded his garden onto part of the vacant lot where the bones were found. So he's actually sneaking into other people's property. Oh well. Mr. Arnold's tool shed is very neat and orderly and contains just about every gardening tool you can imagine. There is no lock on the door. Okay. Let's head on to the library. We'll need to figure out a little information about archaeology so that when we go and meet other people, we might have a clue on what exactly they're talking about. Maybe we can find out about those bones here in the library. Hi, Mrs. Garcia. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Ellie. Mrs. Arnold and I just got back from a historical conference. My son Bobby told me all about Mark's exciting fossil find. If it's true, it could bring back many archaeologists to Ridgeview. They might be digging here for years. And they may have to tear down Mark's fort to do their research. That would be too bad for Mark, but stuff like this happens sometimes when you build your fort on someone else's property. The archaeology books have many color pictures of archaeologists carefully digging up bones. Being buried in the ground for a long time stains the bones. Some are gray, yellow, brown, or even black. The only white bones in the archaeology book are ones that have been cleaned or clay replicas made for museums. So, if the bones in the ground discovered are white, might not be so old after all. A recent newspaper article talks about the vacant lot where the bones were found. The article says that the property is being sold to Mr. Green, manager of the Ridgeview Community Bank. He plans to build senior apartments on the sites. He is quoted as saying, "We'll use bulldozers to clear off the lot as soon as the purchase is complete. Then start building the apartments. We have to hurry to finish construction before this winter." Well, it makes sense to actually build things safely and securely instead of rushing construction. Oh well. The book about Native Americans have a map for the Ridgeview area. It shows that 10,000 years ago, Ice Age people lived here, but they later disappeared. Over the last 10,000 years, several related Native American societies lived near here. European people only came to live a few hundred years ago. Okay. A little bit of history is good to know, I guess. Right, Mr. Green has bought over the area where the bones were found, so let's see what he has to say about that. Mr. Green, the bank manager, looks like he's really worried about something. Hello, children. I'm afraid I don't have much time to talk. Some old bones have been found on property where we are about to build apartments for seniors. Since scientists will need to study the remains that were found, the mayor has stopped us from using our bulldozers to start work on the building. We're already late on the project, and this delay will cost me thousands of dollars. Why does this kind of thing have to happen to me? Okay, so Mr. Green is pretty upset that the bones were found on the property, so he had really no reason to plant that there. In fact, he probably wants to actually keep them secret so he can just continue building his stuff. Let's get the official police report from Chief Barnes. Curious about Mark Moriarty's bones, eh? I'm not surprised. Well, we faxed a photo of the skeleton to the state capitol, and we just got an answer back. The experts confirm what Dr. Knox told us. If the bones are real, it's a pretty big find, but we won't know for sure until the scientists get here next week. Until then, they asked the mayor not to let Mr. Green use his bulldozers to clear the lot and build the new apartments for seniors. In the police photo, the exposed parts of the skeleton look very white against the dark, wet ground. There are no footprints around the bones. The problem is that there are no footprints, but the skeleton feels. I don't know. I guess this is Dr. Knox, a dentist. As usual, Mrs. Arnold is working here at the Ridgeview Historical Society. And look, there's Dr. Knox, the dentist, flipping through some old scientific magazines. My, isn't this exciting? I've just returned from a 2-day conference about state history. Now Dr. Knox tells me that we may have an important archaeological site right next to my house. Won't Mr. Arnold be amazed? Dr. Knox is here doing research on the bones. He likes to read Sacred Artifacts, the archaeological magazine I bring in from home. I just brought in the latest issue this morning, but neither Dr. Knox nor I have had a chance to read it. I must tell Mr. Arnold to look carefully in his garden. It's only a few feet from where the skeleton was found. If he finds any new bones, they shouldn't be disturbed. Archaeologists learn much more when things people find haven't been moved. These bones will really put Ridgeview on the map. If they're real, that is. I'm still trying to figure that out. The experts from the state capitol will be here in 2 weeks, and then we'll know for sure if they are the real thing. Nothing like them has ever been found around here before. The bones sure look like an authentic Ice Age skeleton. That would make them 10,000 years old. They are accurate in every detail, as far as I can tell. The skeleton could be a museum replica, a copy made for museums to display ours or scientists to study. But this old issue of Sacred Artifacts say there are no Ice Age skeletons available. Still, something about these bones bothers me. Mrs. Arnold's new issue of Sacred Artifacts contains an ad for museum replicas of famous ancient skeletons. The replicas are very accurate and are made from white clay. The ad says, "New this month, complete Ice Age human skeletons." Someone has drawn a circle around the ad. Oh, Mrs. Arnold. Okay, with all that information gathered, I kind of see the picture now. But why no footprints? Right, let's try to solve this case. Let's organize the evidence we've dug up. Choose the 5 clues you think will best expose the truth about the baffling bones. Okay. We'll need pure facts. The bones are clean and white. White bones are new. Mrs. Arnold, okay, the magazine has a circle around it, which means someone read the magazine. But Mrs. Arnold claims that no one read the magazine before that, so someone else did. Okay. And we need a reason for why it needs to be there. Mr. Arnold does not want his bean plants to be disturbed. Mm, I guess this will be good enough. You dug up the right clues. Are the bones for real? If they are, choose the picture of the bones. If they are fakes, point out the person who you think is pulling a fast one. Right, Mark, if the bones are real, his fort will be torn down. Probably not him. Mr. Green, if the bones are real, he will lose lots and lots of money in his building thing, so probably not him either. Dr. Knox, he is an archaeologist and he wants to explore this thing, but he seems pretty authentically enthusiastic about things. The bones, while compelling, are probably a replica at this point. Only testing will tell further, so probably not that, which leaves Mr. Arnold, who had lots of reasons, so it's probably him. You're right. Mr. Arnold planted the fake bones in the vacant lot, and you can prove it. At least I hope they're fake. If they're real bones, that's going to be much, much more sinister. Let's check the evidence. Dr. Knox identified the bones as belonging to an Ice Age skeleton. These early Americans lived in this area about 10,000 years ago. If they were real, the bones were very old. The archaeology book showed us that the bones were too white to be authentic. White bones were likely to be replicas from a museum. The Ice Age replica was brand new. Only the latest issue of Sacred Artifacts carried the ad for them. Mrs. Arnold told us that she gets the magazine Sacred Artifacts at home, and she didn't bring the latest issue into the Historical Society until the day after the bones were found. Aside from Mrs. Arnold, Mr. Arnold was the only one to see the magazine before the bones were found. But Mrs. Arnold was out of town at a conference when the fake bones appeared in the vacant lot. Also, Mr. Arnold told us that he knew nothing about what was in the vacant lot. But when I told him there were bones there, he talked about the Ice Age skeleton. How did he know what kind of skeleton it was? You knew Mr. Arnold wanted to stop Mr. Green from using bulldozers to clear the vacant lot. That would have destroyed Mr. Arnold's prize-winning beans before he could enter them in the county fair. So, Mr. Arnold, to protect his beans, he has stolen from a museum or bought something from a museum. Oh well. Boy, Mr. Arnold must be embarrassed. His plan to save his vegetables from the bulldozers made the front page of the paper. It's lucky for Mr. Green that Ellie solved this mystery so quickly. His bank could have lost thousands of dollars otherwise. That clipping is worth saving. It's a good reminder that sometimes we can accidentally hurt other people when we're only thinking about ourselves, and I guess that's a good moral to bring away from any story. Richview Courier. Old bones prove fake. The skeleton of an Ice Age human uncovered in a vacant lot has been proven to be a museum replica. Operatives of the Eagle Eye Detective Agency assembled the clues. The fake bones were planted by Mr. Arnold, who hoped to delay construction on the lot until he could harvest his prize beans. Part of his garden extended onto the lot where the bones were planted. Ellie made the case, Chief Barnes said, proving that only Mr. Arnold had seen the magazine where the Ice Age replicas were for sale. This investigation will save Mr. Green a lot of money and time. And probably send Mr. Arnold straight to jail for fraud. Actually, for fraud? Yeah, probably for fraud. And also for infringing on other people's property. Poor Mr. Arnold. Anyway, that wraps up the case of the Battling Bones. If you've been enjoying this series and would like to get more daily gameplay videos in your feed, feel free to like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps and is very, very much appreciated. Right, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and as usual, this is Ellie signing out.